evacuations
does work. Here we
in the
go,
area
going out live to the
designated
press conference.
A1. So again, to repeat, the City of Colorado Springs is beginning mandatory evacuations in the area designated A1. The borders of that area are on the north, Northgate Boulevard and Old Northgate Road. On the south, Flying Horse Club Drive, Vine Cliff Heights, Equinox Drive, Serenity Park Drive, Barossa Valley Road, and Veneto Way. On the east, Highway 83, and on the west, Voyager Parkway. Officers will be managing traffic in the area. Please follow their directions. This should be an orderly evacuation, but please leave the area as soon as possible. Chief Tommy Smith will be talking in a couple minutes about fire behavior and upcoming weather. CSPD will maintain a strong presence in both the mandatory evacuation area and the voluntary area. Area A remains a voluntary evacuation area, and I'd like to go over the borders of Area A, the voluntary evacuation area. On the north, it is Flying Horse Club Drive, Vine Cliff Heights, Equinox Drive, Serenity Park Drive, Barossa Valley Road, and Veneto Way. The south border of the voluntary evacuation area is Old Ranch Road. The east border of the voluntary evacuation area is Highway 83 as well as Powers Boulevard. And on the west side of the voluntary evacuation area, it's Interstate 25, I-25. I'd like to introduce Interim Fire Chief Tommy Smith for some more information.
Good afternoon, Interim Fire Chief Tommy Smith. At this time, as Chief Carey said, we have a mandatory evacuation. Fire crews are reporting that smoke is blowing west into the Flying Horse neighborhood. At this time, we don't have any signs or reports of any fires in that area. We had a decision/trigger point established yesterday for this fire, for the evacuation of Flying Horse, and at this time the fire has reached that trigger point. Fire is still on the east side of 83. At this time, we do not have any fire in Flying Horse. We just want to make sure that people are able to get out as soon as possible. As Chief Carey said, leave as quickly as you can, but orderly. At this time, we have several CSFD units in the neighborhood patrolling the area, making sure that there aren't any structure fires, also doing brand patrol. At this time, we have current weather of 5 to 10 miles per hour with an occasional gust of 22 miles per hour. And in the next 2 hours, there's a possibility of a thunderstorm coming in. And with the weather that we're having and the weather that's predicted, we just want to make sure that we get out in front of this thing early, and therefore we're issuing the mandatory evacuation. So please leave as quickly as possible and as orderly as possible. Thank you.
Brett Waters, Emergency Manager Director with the City of Colorado Springs. Let me just add a couple things. This information will be sent out to all media outlets, so you'll get a map that's pretty clear on where the mandatory evacuations are. We do have, again, shelters open. We're working closely with El Paso County. The Red Cross has established Palmer Ridge High School. They are going to open up UCCS, University of Colorado, Colorado Springs, within the hour as a shelter. So that is going to be open as well. There's a number of animal shelters as well open. So we remind you that if you need a shelter, they are available and still have capacity. So with that, I will turn it back over to Chief Carey.
Thanks, Brett. This area is the north part of the community of Flying Horse Ranch. It's going to involve about 1,020 homes. So that's a general number of the area and the size of it. I'll open it up for a couple questions. Yes, sir.
You said 1,020 homes. Do you know roughly how many people?
So give or take, I would estimate with 1,020 private homes, about 3,000 people or so. And again, I have officers already set up in the areas helping with traffic control, and we will be very vigilant. Excuse the interruption. We already have officers in the area. We're very vigilant as far as proactively securing that area and providing 24/7 security until people can come back. And that will be in the voluntary evacuation area as well as the mandatory.
At what time did the fire reach that trigger point today?
It's generally in that area, I would say in the last hour or so.
Can you tell us what that trigger point, what area
Generally speaking, the trigger point that brought us to this decision was well east of there, still in the Black Forest area, so I would just say well east and northeast. What we can't predict exactly is any changes in wind patterns and things like that, so we're trying to be cautious, we're trying to be safe, so well east of there and to the north a little bit.
350 houses, 60?
As far as the damaged homes in Black Forest, I can't.
You don't have any idea?
I don't. I know at 5 o'clock there will be another press conference, and the sheriff's office will make comments. Any other
indication that the fire has crossed 83? Do you anticipate it could?
there is no indication that the fire has crossed Highway 83. I think that there's always that possibility. I don't want to say that's not going to happen. So we're being cautious and we're planning if that happens. At this point, it's significantly away. At least, I'm told, at least a mile away.
Chief, do you have people going door to door up in that area, notifying it?
Right. We're obviously going to ask for voluntary evacuation in this mandatory area. We have officers in the area. We're going to begin shortly checking, getting people ready and getting them out of the area. Again, we'll accomplish that on door-to-door visits, some PA systems, and again, through the 911 system, there's notifications on telephone. That's called the geocast system, so all three of those will be used. So the question is, people that are receiving this information and they're not home right now, is it a good idea for them to come home and then get out? At this point, I would request that they stay out of the area. When things stabilize and calm down a little bit, what I'd suggest that we do is we'll work out an escort system to get them back in and get back out. But right now, let's not have people come back in the area.
Do you have an estimate of how many people are in this yellow pre-evacuation the next phase now? How many homes?
I believe that the red area that we're evacuating right now, area A1, has got about 1,000 homes in it. And I believe that the area below it, in yellow to the south, area A, has another 2,000 homes. So in total, about 3,000 homes total.
Can you talk a little bit about earlier, I know the question was raised to the sheriff about I-25 possibly having to be shut down for some of those evacuations. Is that a consideration that you guys are looking into, or how that would be handled?
Right. The question was, how will I-25 play into this as far as closing down and things like that? We do have a traffic control plan. We'll have officers out there directing people. At this point, with the evacuation we're asking for right now, I-25 is not going to be a factor. We do have a plan that if we have to use it exclusively for the evacuation, we will. So right now, it's not being used. Thank you very much. We'll see you at 5 p.m.